Here are our Week 7 waiver wire targets. Florio, walk us through it, huh?
Yeah, Tua Tagovailoa is my top quarterback add this week. And then Carson Wentz. I know he's Carson Wentz, but he has a really favorable schedule to help you through these buys the next couple of weeks. Justin Fields running a little bit more. Dearness Johnson and Demetric Felton, we spoke about them earlier, but I think both need to be rostered. Ramondre Stevenson, Devonta Freeman, Tyson Williams, some running backs that have played well and are going to be getting more usage. And then Jerick McKinnon and Captain America Chris Evans round out the running backs there. But we also got lots of receivers and tight ends as well that we are going to talk about. Rashad Bateman is my top add of the week this week. He tied for the team lead in targets in his first game back. I really like his upside. T.Y. Hilton returned and led the Colts in targets. Amon-Ra St. Brown saw 7 targets once again for a third straight game. Mecole Hardman has just been more involved than we expected as of late. Donovan Peoples-Jones had a big game. Khalif Raymond, Diami Brown, some deeper league options there. And then Ricky Seals-Jones, he's been getting good usage with Logan Thomas sideline. Jared Cook is on bye next week, but he's good for a touchdown. So when he's back and other tight ends are on bye, I think he will be in play. And then Mo Alley Cox, again, a lot of buys this week. You're probably hoping for a touchdown if you need to stream a tight end. I like his chances of scoring, so I included him as one of the waiver wire tight ends this week.
That's pretty much all you want when you're looking for a tight end off the waiver wire. What is this guy's opportunity to potentially score a touchdown? Because you're not going to find a guy off the wire that's going to get you 7 catches for 80 yards. It's just maybe you fall into that. I wouldn't count on it. So the Ravens backfield, it was straight out of 2015. Le'Veon Bell scored a touchdown, which is how the world found out that he's wearing number 17 now. And the world apparently does not approve of Le'Veon Bell wearing number 17 for whatever that's worth. But Tyson Williams, Le'Veon Bell, Devonta Freeman, they're all sort of in the mix behind Latavius Murray there. And, Murray, I know, got a little bit banged up as well. Of those other ones, though, which one do you trust the most?
I would go with Devonta Freeman, but it is tough. Latavius Murray, John Harbaugh did say after the game, it's not that serious of an injury, but my thinking was, his week 7 is definitely in jeopardy, so I do think it's worth grabbing these other running backs off the waiver wire. Devonta Freeman has consistently been used as the RB2 this year, and I think his work is safest, so he is my top grab, but I think Tyson Williams could come in here and play one of the top 2 RB roles there. I just think he's more explosive than the other guys. Lev Bell, I'm leaving only for deep leagues, but I would rank him Freeman, Williams, Bell of these 3 options here.
I think I'm with you on that one. I know Freeman is maybe the one. Actually, my honest answer is none, but because, for the sake of this segment, I'm going to go with Devonta Freeman. You look at the Ravens carries from Sunday. Freeman had 9. Lamar Jackson had 8. Latavius Murray had 9. Le'Veon Bell had 8. I mean, that is zero clarity whatsoever. Freeman, Murray, Bell all scored rushing touchdowns, which I believe I think I saw on Twitter the last time that happened was sometime in 2015 where they all scored touchdowns on the same week. It's a mess. I mean, the Ravens want to run the football. That part we know. But if they're really going to rotate, 3 or 4 guys in there, then who knows? And the thing with Tyson Williams is that you just never know if he's going to end up being a healthy scratch in any given week. We've seen that already a couple times this year too. So that makes him really hard to trust. I'm really at the point where I just kind of want to wash my hands of it. But like I said, if I had to pick one, I guess it's Devonta Freeman. But I don't love it. Justin Fields. Last week you said you wanted to see Justin Fields score more than 9 points in a fantasy game. He did. I think he had 13. Yay! Considering the injuries, considering the buys, look, I'm not expecting you to say you're going to start him in a 1-quarterback league, but a 2-quarterback league, would you consider him this week?
In a 2-quarterback league, yeah, just because we're going to have so many teams on bye that the options are going to be thinner, and it is a solid matchup against the Bucs. But I still, if possible, would like to take a wait-and-see approach. I'm still a fan of holding on to this guy because I do think his ceiling is really high. Maybe at some point I need to give up on that, but I think yesterday was encouraging because he ran more. Yesterday he rushed for 42 rushing yards, which was more than he rushed for in his first 3 starts combined. So that is a big part of his game that we were kind of waiting to let the Bears let him run more. I'm waiting to see more deep shots. I'm waiting just to see him play better and the Bears to put up actual offensive numbers. But I'm still preaching take a wait and see approach. In 2 quarterback leagues, you might not have another option next week. So I think he is in play in those formats.
I think so. I think that's about the only way, though. The Bears still have the worst passing offense in the league. Fields 174 passing yards. It is a struggle for them to play offense this year, and it's disappointing. I mean, I know maybe we were too excited about Justin Fields. Maybe we should have listened to Matt Nagy. Maybe Matt Nagy should have given us a heads up. I don't know, but it's
Matt Nagy thinks he's Andy Dalton, so thinks right. Justin Fields is Andy Dalton, right. So it's all out of whack in Chicago. I mean, Allen Robinson doesn't have 11 fantasy points in a single game this year.
Just miserable.
Yeah.
Remember when we thought that Justin Fields is going to be the best quarterback he's played with? And maybe he will be, but right now he's definitely not.
The issue is Allen Robinson will be playing somewhere else when Justin Fields comes into his own and is playing like we anticipated he would this year.
That's right. Remember Allen Robinson said how much he really didn't like the city of Chicago? Like this is making it really easy for him to leave Chicago at this point.
Is his get me out of here tour.
Absolutely. Oh, man. All right. All that being said, knowing that everybody's going to be hitting the waiver wire really hard this week, who is your top waiver wire target in week 7?
Unless you're desperate for a running back, I think it should be Rashad Bateman. I was excited about Bateman coming into the year, as I know a lot of people were. He was going in drafts in the 9th or 10th round, and then he got injured. We stopped drafting him. But you can get a guy who was a 9th or 10th round pick on your roster as a waiver wire pickup right now. I know he only had 4 catches for 29 yards this week. That's not great, but tied for the team lead in targets. He played the 2nd most snaps amongst their receivers, and he is a type of weapon like Lamar Jackson has never had before. He's a downfield threat. Lamar's had plenty of those, but he's a contested catch monster, and I think will be used a lot in the red zone. And again, kudos to Lamar Jackson. He only had to throw for 167 passing yards yesterday, but he is passing way better than he gets credit for. And this is just a better passing game than I think a lot of people realize. So I do think there's room for Andrews, Brown, and Rashad Bateman to all be fantasy relevant.
Yeah, maybe the Ravens really are going to emphasize the passing game a little bit more. They've been telling us that for years. I wanted to take a wait-and-see attitude, but maybe it's really starting to happen.
Look at who their running backs are.
Well, that has something to do with it, too. That's true. I do like the Bateman call. I'm going to go Amon-Ra St. Brown, and you want to talk about being a truther and holding on to this one. Look, even if the production isn't always there, the targets are really starting to come for St. Brown. I came into the year thinking that maybe he would be the number 2 target in the offense. That was because I didn't think that DeAndre Swift is going to be the target monster that he has become. So right now, I think it's still a safe bet that St. Brown is the number 3 behind Swift and Hawkinson there. But on a team that's going to be playing from behind a lot, that's going to have to be throwing the football a lot, that means there's going to be a lot of opportunity. The only thing I would love would be some more yards after the catch numbers, because just working out of the slot with Jared Goff as your quarterback, you're not going to see a lot of air yards, so you're going to have to do it yourself. So that's maybe the one thing that would concern me a little bit more, but the opportunity seems to be there for St. Brown. And again, it's like you said, though, Flora, if you don't need a running back, if you need running back, and a lot of people do, that should be your top priority. But if you are somehow set at that position, then maybe you can look to a young wide receiver to kind of help you out a little bit.